Only a handful of college football venues are as towering in every way as Knoxville's riverfront jewel. Tonight, Neyland Stadium will rock with a sellout crowd of over 102,000. Butch Jones is building Tennessee football back. There's a sense up on Rocky Top that the future will be bright. It's the present opening challenge that won't be easy. Utah State star quarterback Chucky Keeton is a proven big program puncher. It's primetime football here at Tennessee. We welcome you to SEC Network Primetime Football, presented by Belk. It is always one of the most special settings in the game. A sea of orange. That fan base, they are so loyal and faithful, and they believe that one of the youngest rosters in the country will be the foundation to eventual greatness. Tennessee plays host to Utah State, the Aggies, the first meeting between these schools. About 40 minutes ago, folks, the skies absolutely opened up. We expect that weather could play a significant role tonight, as you saw the wind that the kickers were dealing with in pregame warmups. But then, a bright sign, maybe a rainbow, a good sign of things to come. As we say good evening, everybody. Glad you're with us for SEC Primetime Football. Joe Tessitore alongside Brock Heward. We'll hear from Shannon Spake in just a little bit. Already been an exciting opening weekend of college football, and it reminds us, Brock, we think we know, but we don't always know.
Jameis Winston, worst game as a collegian. Texas A&M without a real popular quarterback, routes South Carolina, and right here in this state, Vanderbilt loses by 30 to Temple. And I would contend, of anybody in this conference, there's no one with more unknowns than this Tennessee team we'll see tonight. Upwards of 30 freshmen could make the field tonight.
Yeah, Butch Jones would agree that you don't know what you think you know. He said this team is an example of that. That's the big headline. The youth and inexperience of Tennessee. They don't have a single player on the team who's been to a bowl game. Butch Jones told us last night 3/4 of his team has never had a pregame night at a team hotel. As for Utah State, Chucky's back. Chucky Keeton, the star quarterback, tore up his knee, missed 8 games a year ago. Now they feel he's as strong as ever. They're a talented bunch among the top contenders in the Mountain West. Everybody has waited all off season for this moment to hear that it's game night and it's time for Tennessee football. And when the pride of the Southland band forms that famed T, you are swimming in Southern college football pageantry. Tonight, a lot of new faces for Tennessee Team 118 against the talented Aggies. Kickoff when we come back to Knoxville. Put this on your bucket list. It is a bucket list American sports experience. A sold-out primetime game at General Neyland's Football Fortress. SEC Network primetime. Tennessee, Utah State. Brock, a game many have pointed to for much of the offseason because of how good of a matchup it is with Tennessee, that youth, this freshman class that may be the future stars of this conference, and Utah State with an NFL prospect at linebacker, the experienced quarterback, and confidence, a lot of confidence.
I guarantee this will be a 4-quarter game and one in the 4th quarter. Not my words. I guarantee we will be in it in the 4th quarter. That was head coach Matt Wells. He says that because they have been in venues like this before. There is no level of intimidation. His guys are going to come out and fight tonight. They are battle tested. You can see the venues they have been in. And remember, he was the coordinator when a fresh-faced Chucky Keeton made his first collegiate start and took Auburn to the wire. They'll fight tonight.
We are high atop 102,000 here, and our eyes and ears on the field is the hardworking Shannon Spake. Good evening, Shannon.
Hi, Joe. Coach Jones, a large portion of your players are playing in their very first game here tonight. What'd you see in their eyes as you led them out of that tunnel?
Well, a small victory made a right running through the tee. But I'm very anxious to see the first 5 minutes of the game are going to be very critical. We always talk about it all the time. Not emotion. We're not an emotional football team. Play on passion, and we're going to be challenged early.
You have been preparing for this Utah State team for almost 2 weeks. What is the biggest challenge they present you?
Well, a great challenge. It starts with their quarterbacks, and their players know how to win.
How do you contain their quarterback?
Well, we have to mix it up. We have to hit him when he scrambles the pocket, and then when he scrambles, we got to stay in coverage.
Thanks, Coach. And Joe, the rain has stopped down here, and there's also very little wind down here on the field.
So the weather calming down for a moment. Utah State won the toss. They deferred. Tennessee will receive the opening kickoff. Big leg Jake Thompson will kick away as Justice Pickett and Devrin Young are back to return for the Volunteers.
First 5 minutes, you heard it from the head coach. Keep an eye on that execution, emotion, handling this stage.
And this is Devrin Young as he is taken down just beyond the 17. Justin Worley won the quarterback competition at Tennessee. A 6'4", 220-pound senior, has 10 career games at quarterback, including 7 last year, went 4-3.
He also has 5 new starters up front, the only team in college football with 5 new offensive linemen, 5 new guys in the defensive line. We expect Justin Worley to have to communicate an awful lot tonight. Some new pieces around him,
including a true freshman at right guard, Ja'Shawn Robertson. And he's going to throw to open up the season to Pig Howard in the short game for a gain of maybe 1.5 yards there.
Expect to see plenty of that tonight. Tennessee feels like on the perimeter, their size, strength, and speed is the biggest matchup advantage they have.
And we'll see tempo out of both teams tonight as Worley takes a shot downfield. And he overthrew Alton Pig Howard, who was covered by the freshman Jalen Davis.
6'3", 6'4", 6'3", upwards of 220 pounds for those Tennessee receivers. And Jalen Davis, 5'9", 160-pound freshman. Lots of inexperience in the secondary for Utah State.
3rd and 8 now for Worley in Tennessee. Some pressure comes in, and they were able to get to him. As it'll be a 3-and-out. Nick Vigil with the sack on Justin Worley.
Could not have started better for Utah State. Their 3rd down package is one of the most exotic in college football. A big reason they were so good a season ago. Number 11, just 32% conversions. You see 1 D lineman with a hand on the ground. And if you get into these 3rd and passing situations against 5 new starters up front, yeah, you can expect to see wholesale blitzes, stunts, movements to try to confuse that Tennessee group.
Matt Darr, the senior, had been the starting punter in 2011 and now back into that spot as JoJo Natson is back to return the punt, calls for the fair catch, and is able to secure it at about the 32-yard line. A 52-yard punt by Matt Darr. And it is the welcome back to college football moment for Chucky Keaton. Suffered a gruesome knee injury last October 4th against BYU. Played in only 6 games a year ago.
So the biggest key would be his warm-ups with the wind and the rain. He was a little bit erratic. I would contend the biggest key is his first hit. How does he move? How does he respond to contact? He's done all the drills, but it's a whole lot different when those live bullets are flying at you.
Here's Keaton. Completes his first pass to Swindle, and Swindle breaks free for a Utah State first down out to the 49-yard line. A 17-yard reception for Brandon Swindle.
Dual threat quarterback, and he's really, really good on the move. And you can see there a torn ACL and MCL against BYU a season ago.
Flag down at the 40-yard lines. We'll check that.
It was the line in the back. Number 9, offense. 2-yard penalty, foul. Replay first down.
They're going to get JoJo Natson, fellow receiver, who was blocking for some extra yardage on that reception from Swindle.
Formations, shifts, personnel groups, all doing it with tremendous tempo because Keaton, a 4-year starter in this system, very, very comfortable with a lot of volume in this playbook.
A rare 1st and 12 after they mark off the yardage. Joe Hill tackled for a loss by Chris Weather, the newcomer to Tennessee, the JUCO, who was a late arrival to fall camp, Brock.
The defensive coordinator John Jancic said you're going to circle him all night long. There will be occasions where he's going to spy, but they love his explosiveness and speed. He's really come on the scene. And in a matchup like this tonight with a zone read team, a movement team, having a very active linebacker, and you can see him right in the middle of that 3-man defensive line front, having a D lineman that can really move can be a big, big advantage.
2nd and 17, they go empty with Joe Hill in the slot. Over the middle, gets it complete to Swindle again as he works his way back to the 33-yard line, picks up 8 there. That penalty and the 5-yard tackle for loss puts them in a long down and distance 3rd down. Incomplete. He was looking for Swindle.
That 1st down penalty put him behind the chains, and much like Tennessee has 5 new starters up front, Utah State has 4, and you can expect in obvious passing situations, John Jancic, the defensive coordinator, is going to give Chucky Keaton lots of different looks as well. Who operates, who keeps it on schedule in early downs is going to find offensive efficiency this evening.
Jaron Bentrude on for his first punt of the night. And Cameron Sutton, the return man for Tennessee. As the Vols will be out there for their 2nd offensive series after the 37-yard punt by Bentrude. Both defenses doing their job early here in Knoxville. More SEC primetime football when we return. Neyland Stadium sellout tonight. 102,455, taking in the great tradition of Tennessee football. They're hoping it's a soon-to-be re-energized winning tradition. They've 3 straight years they've missed going to a bowl game. Justin Worley out of the gun with Marlon Lane flanking him. And he's going to find his tight end for a 1st down. That's Ethan Wolf, the 4-star recruit, true freshman from Ohio, who they've been very high on.
First true freshman to ever make a start at tight end. Game number 1, he wears that 82 because of Jason Witten, and Jason Witten in attendance tonight watching the freshman phenom.
Out of the backfield is Lane. And he was taken down by Bryant Hayes.
Keep an eye on this tonight. Tennessee really wants to get this ball snapped 20 and above. It's been a concerted effort all through spring and fall camp.
It's had their offensive coordinator, Mike Bajakian, doing some push-ups every time they haven't during camp. 2nd and 8 now. Here's Jalen Hurd, the much hyped up freshman. Nick Vigil, who had the sack earlier, tackles Hurd there. 6'3". What a great looking specimen he is.
Much more manageable 3rd down. Expect man coverage. That's what Tennessee's thinking they're going to get from Utah State. A 60 to 70% blitz team in this down and distance a season ago.
Hurd stays in on 3rd and 5. Looks like they may be bringing pressure, and then they back off as Hurd takes a look over.
That's an excellent adjustment. Come out with a dummy call to try to get them to show their colors.
They go on the ground with the freshman on 3rd and 5, and he gets it. Good effort from Jalen Hurd. 7 yards that time.
and see the size, 6'3", 220, one of the fastest players as they have measured him in training camp as well.
Worley swings it now to Smith, and here goes Josh Smith. Finally pushed out by Devin Centers, but it's going to be first and goal, Tennessee. 38 yards from Worley.
Take advantage of the physical mismatches outside. You want to get the ball into the speed, but it's also the strength. A tremendous job of the Tennessee receivers blocking on the perimeter, really setting that explosive play up.
Good looking drive here. We'll see if they can cash in. Big Howard now on the jet sweep to the corner. Touchdown, Tennessee. True freshman Aaron Medley, his first moment out on the field as the starting kicker as he tacks on the extra point. And Pig Howard, who had troubles this offseason, had to work his way back into the team's good graces, came up with a big block that sprung Josh Smith, and then he delivered the payoff.
I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and talk that talk, you knocks me out off my feet.
SEC Network Primetime Football is presented by Belk, the home of modern Southern style. Visit Belk.com today. And in part by Auto Owners Insurance, highest in customer satisfaction. Find your local agent at AutoOwners.com.
Those were all the final preparations earlier today. A.J. Johnson's big pads being put in. Star linebacker for Tennessee, who will be out there in moments to face off against Utah State's Chucky Keaton yet again.
Says something, doesn't it? You go 5-7, you miss a bowl game a year ago, and yet you have the first sellout in 7 years.
Now this is a special place. Long tradition, a true power program. Forget what they've been. Still a program that you know at the top end is capable of being one of those elites that can do it all. And they've got a freshman class in here that bought in. Pig Howard got them on the board. Junior receiver. Aaron Medley will kick away. He's got real leg talent. In fact, the wall behind the checkerboard end zone, Butch Jones has been calling Medley's wall, because when he came here and first kicked to Tennessee, he hit right into it. Leon Williams back to return. And Williams makes a decision to take it out. And it wasn't a good decision at all. And ball came out at the end there, and Tennessee looks to have it. That looks like Todd Kelly Jr. on the bottom there. One of those star freshmen they rave about. Tennessee ball.
You saw A.J. Johnson leading the charge. Senior came back to school, and he's playing on special teams as well, making an impact. And what a disastrous decision to bring the ball out. You can see A.J. there grabbing and punching and fighting and clawing. That's why he came back to Knoxville to turn this thing around. A disastrous decision to bring it out, and then even worse to couple it with the turnover.
So this thing is served right up for Tennessee here. Worley. Touchdown. Oh, that was too easy. Brendan Downs, a starter a year ago, who came in with these big recruits and said to the coaches, I just want to block. How about that, big boy?
Coach Wells said it was going to be a 12-round fight. It was going to get to the fourth quarter. These early rounds, they're staring down a TKO, a big, big blow. Tennessee could not envision a better start here in front of the 102,000.
Can't have a better start than that. And All-America playing special teams and stripping Kennedy Williams. Todd Kelly Jr., the true freshman, with the recovery. AJ's loving it. And then Justin Worley, calm and cool, right to his tight end Downs. 14-0 Vols. Tennessee's already played 14 true freshmen, and they got 14 points on the board. Good start, Shannon.
Well, Joe, no doubt who the leader, one of the leaders of this defense is, A.J. Johnson. He actually spoke to the team on Friday. He got very emotional. He told the guys, listen, I came back to play here for a reason. They want to be winners. You can see them out there right now getting set, trying to get up. They're obviously going to have to try to control that emotion as they go back to work.
Kennedy Williams is right back out there on kickoff return. Moments ago, he's the one that fumbled as A.J. Johnson came crashing in.
Love seeing your best players on special teams. It sends a message to everybody.
Here's Williams again. And look who met him again. A.J. Johnson.
Incumbent on Chucky to keep it very calm. Coach Wells talks about medium. No peaks, no valleys. You never flinch. This program really has been built the last 4 years, coming into venues like this and not backing down. This inexperienced line, junior college receivers are going to be staring right into 16's eyes, and he's got to respond.
Straight up the middle goes Hill. He's taken down by Brian Randolph.
The nice thing about a quarterback that started 27 games, 17-10, is he knows you can't get it all back at once. Good play call. Settle everybody down. It's going to be the movement. It's going to be the misdirection. It's going to be the distribution of the ball all over the field by Chucky that's going to turn this thing around.
Rushed up to the line as they go with the empty set here on 2nd and 5. And then he called out his play. And a timeout is called. As Matt Wells, the second-year head coach at Utah State, he's going to talk things over with his star quarterback. He's a young man, Brock, that he says, I wouldn't trade Chucky Keaton for anybody in all of college football. He loves his mental capacity, loves his coachability.
Does a lot of things so very well. There really aren't too many weaknesses. Jim Zorn, the old NFL coach and quarterback himself, coached Matt Wells at one time back in the day and is in a lot of communication, has watched a lot of Chucky Keaton tape, and he thinks he's got a good shot to play at the next level, and it really is. It's nice for a head coach right now to have that calming influence in that huddle.
I know somebody else that Coach Zorn worked with for many years. Big guy up here in the booth. See what he needs to do to solve this early problem here.
But he didn't move, and he threw with the other hand, unlike Chucky, who really has to, I think, have some escapability tonight to keep this defense guessing.
That time he goes nowhere trying to run, but Derek Barnett, the true freshman who they have nicknamed Boy Wonder with his development during fall camp.
6'3", just shy of 270 pounds. We pointed the tight end out, Ethan Wolf. Barnett likewise. Becoming the first ever true freshman. Look at that to start. And there have been some really good defensive linemen and front 7 players that have come through Knoxville.
He's already exceeding expectations. 3rd and 5. They only bring 4. Ball slipped out of his hand. They're ruling it incomplete. Right away, you saw the linesman top of the screen saying incomplete. as Chucky Keaton couldn't hold on to that. And this Tennessee defense is fired up.
See, when this ball comes out, it's going forward. And you saw the weather conditions earlier today. It really started to pour. And that's a wet football combined with a little bit of hesitation. And unfortunately, in the 3rd and 5, a completion to be had there. And instead, you're going to put your defense right back on the field.
A slow start to the night for Chucky Keaton. Bentrude, rugby style, and gets it off. And that is fair caught down near the 35-yard line. Brock, it's a big day on the SEC Network come next weekend. Saturday, 6 games, top to bottom. Folks, you can check your local listings or go to secnetwork.com/channel to find the channel number in your area. Oh boy, Lamar is in store for something, aren't they, Brock?
How about Kenny Hill Thursday night? Unbelievable to go into South Carolina, put 52 on the board, throw for over 500 yards. Another young person trying to see what he can do, and much like Tennessee in the first 7 minutes of this game, well, these youngsters are responding accordingly.
There's a youngster that so many are high on there, Jalen Hurd, running back for 1.5 yards.
Let's keep in mind what Butch Jones, the head coach, told Shannon the first 5 minutes of this game. I'm really going to be keen to see how my team comes out swinging, and they've come out really, really well. A good mix of some run and some pass, a critical 3rd down conversion that Hurd had that really started this momentum that's clearly on their side.
Stay with Hurd again. That gap was filled right away by Nick Vigil. He's been very active so far.
This is where Utah State wants the game played. They are a 3-4 team, much like Utah, BYU, Utah State. Everybody seemingly in college football in that state loves to play that 3 down. And now look at the exotic look on a passing situation. No D-line with a hand on the ground.
Eaten up in the backfield by Nick Vigil. So a quick 3 and out that time. Boy, Vigil's a good player. Very, very active. Was a high school running back. His older brother, Zach, had 124 tackles last year. Plays inside of him.
At times, this game can be very, very complex. At other times, well, you can boil it down to inside and outside. And I really think Utah State has an advantage if they can play that game within their 3-4 scheme. When it gets out to the perimeter, as you saw earlier on the bubble screen, if they can get out to that edge, it's an enormous advantage for the Volunteers.
Matt Darr punting away to JoJo Natson. And Utah State will get their chance from there. 47-yard punt from Darr. Good work from the linebacker Nick Vigil. Great looking night here at Neyland Stadium after we had a big rainstorm earlier. It's undergone 16 expansion projects through the years. Back in 1921, it was Shield Watkins Field. They had 3,200. They expanded to 31,000 when they were celebrating victory over LSU in 1940. 46,000 in 1948. Then they took the jump to 52,000, renamed it Neyland in 62. In 1980, how about 91,000, the 10th stadium expansion, and in 96, the 102 plus that they enjoy until today, when they have a sellout crowd yet again. And a 14-zip lead against Utah State. Play action. Keaton being chased. Launches it downfield. And that was beyond Hunter Sharp. And a flag comes down at midfield as Justin Coleman had coverage.
And that was all Chucky Keaton, and that's good to see. That's a good test on that rebuilt knee.
Pass interference, number 27 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
As running back Joe Hill gets beaten in pass protection, and you see Chucky have to come all the way back around with that quickness and the speed with which he has to play. And he knows he's got one-on-one outside, and he's given his receiver an opportunity, and that's, I don't like that call. I don't see enough contact to impede Hunter Sharp from finding that football.
Jordan Williams a little slow in getting up, walked off the field. Defensive tackle who was getting after Chucky Keaton at the end of that pass attempt.
Now remember, that sideline official is seeing that contact before the ball comes. I understand it, but I don't like that call.
So a first down at the 33 for the Aggies. As they go a tight stack formation, pressure comes again on Keaton, pumps and then tucks it and runs for a first down. 11-yard run on that surgically repaired knee.
Good signs. Nothing like facing the kind of speed and tempo you do in game action.
Here's the screen to Butler. And Butler was taken down that time by Reeves Maven. Second and 6 as they sub out the running back. Lawan Hunt, the true freshman, comes in for Joe Hill. Inside run is Hall this time. It's about 3 yards. Shannon.
Well, Joe, Brock, you guys talked about these Aggies being medium, and I have really seen that since they got here to the stadium. Chucky Keaton, however, really being that leader down here on the sideline. After every offensive drive, he addresses his young offensive line. He is just trying to keep their heads in the game, and now they're producing this drive.
Here he has to deal with a 3rd and 3. And he has to deal with this noise at Neyland.
And look at the number of volunteers around the line of scrimmage. One-on-one on the perimeter.
8 men in the box, and he passes. And it was off the hands of Ronald Butler. Well, Daryl McNeil came in against Butler. And it'll be 4th down.
And Ronald Butler's got to make that play. Chucky Keaton can be special. You see him on that drive with 2 very elusive plays to move the sticks, but he's going to need some help. He can't do this alone. And you could see the quarterback and receiver. This conversation's about where you're going to sit down right there. I'm trying to anticipate and help you avoid that contact, but you got to make that catch.
Cameron Sutton secures it there. 32-yard punt by Ben Troop. Justin Worley, who has really gained confidence, they say, in recent weeks and being named the starter. Mike Bajakian, the offensive coordinator, says you can really see a change in his personality and the way he's reacted to
it's his show.
Teammates.
It's his show. There's no debate about it. There can be at Alabama and at Vanderbilt. And there was a good competition with Peterman and Dobbs, but there is no doubt this is his game. This is his team. He's the senior that's taken that command.
Marlon Lane, a good burst there. A gain of 8. Nick Vigil with another tackle for that Utah State defense. Another first down here as he's able to find Von Pearson. Tennessee going up tempo. That was caught. Almost looked like it was deflected that time, but he looked at Von Pearson again. And look at the pace now this offense is operating with.
That's right. Remember the target zone. It's 20 seconds. 2 of those snaps have been above 30 seconds on that play clock.
2 by 2 here with Lane as the back and Worley in the gun. And Worley read that and got the first down. So Pearson came on the jet sweep option. Worley kept, and they moved the chains again.
Look at them setting in formation. You've got Utah State running all over the field.
Looked like there was some motion that time, but they get it off with Lane, and he ducks ahead to pick up maybe 2 yards there. Zach Vigil with the tackle.
You can see the hands on the hips. We talk about gain speed. You can condition all you want. There's some heat and humidity tonight. Once you get that tempo and you get those big fellas trying to get down in their stance, and it's snapped before 30 in the play clock, as you've seen on this drive, it really burdens those defensive linemen.
Jalen Hurd, he's been getting some work early on as Jordan Nielsen is able to find him. Utah State with a 3-second window to sub there, and the flag comes in.
Before the snap, false start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's one of the challenges of trying to use tempo, making sure everybody's lined up and set to go.
That's too bad. You can see Butch, who keeps very calm on that sidelines, but he knew once again he has Utah State running all over this field, in and out, trying to get this third down blitz package in the game. And you've got 2 D linemen with a hand on the ground.
Packrell is showing pressure. Another flag comes in.
False start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Tyler Kirbyson is getting that pace and look from Butch Jones.
Third and 17.
Backs him up to a 3rd and 17. Coming back for the ball that time was Kroom. He's going to be a couple yards short of the necessary yardage, but does cross midfield, and it'll be 4th down here.
You have all the blitz inside, but you still have one-on-one coverage outside against the Tennessee transfer, Daniel Gray there. But unfortunately, on the comeback route, not getting enough yardage. You'd sure love to see in that 3rd down situation. Get beyond the sticks. Nice job of coming back to the football. But all for naught if you don't get the yardage on the route.
Utah State will punt safe here on 4th and 3. And Matt Darr does kick away. And it bounces out at the 15. You saw those penalties there that backed them up into that 3rd and long, but all that inexperience across that offensive line, Brock.
And Kirbyson actually bumped out to tackle. They thought he would play guard, but Ja'Shawn Robertson has just been simply too good as a true freshman. Actually, first 5 practices here was a defensive lineman this fall. Really earned that spot. They bumped Kirbyson outside. Crowder has the 1 start against South Carolina. Now Jackson is the experience. He started 2 years ago, but an incredibly green group that I think Mike Bajakian's done a nice job with the tempo, with the mix, with the movement passes, of allowing those guys here in the first quarter to get comfortable.
Hall and Hunt in the backfield with Keaton as he sprints out and connects with Swindle, but Swindle is wrestled down and out of bounds by Michael Williams. Final minute here of the first quarter. Loaded backfield that time, and it's Joe Hill, and he picks up maybe 2 yards that time. Only 39 total yards of offense for Utah State in this first quarter, Brock.
Tremendous effort in Tennessee. You've seen some of the speed. Butch told us last night, I know we're going to be much more athletic than we were a year ago defensively. I don't know if we'll hold up at the point of attack. But so far, he's got to be awfully proud of his group defensively, led by A.J. Johnson. They've got this crowd invigorated.
It doesn't take much fuel on the fire to make believers here in Knoxville. This team has an attitude. Young, inexperienced, but fiery, and playing passionate ball here at home to open up the season with a 2-touchdown lead at the end of 1. SEC Network Primetime Football presented by Belk. Joe Tessitore, Brock Heward, Shannon Spake with you here in Knoxville. Utah State last year, 445 points scored. That was second all-time in school history. Goose egg through one as Tennessee has a 2-touchdown lead. 3rd and 4. Keaton complete for a first down, and Swindle breaks loose, and a good gainer for the Aggies.
You've got to stick to your guns. The last 3rd and 5, a very similar zone beater play. The drop, the miscommunication, misfire. At that time, who does he go to? Or his security blanket in the receiving core. That is Swindle.
Here's Keaton again. This is well overthrown, as Butler was the lone receiver on that vertical route on the near side.
Butch Jones said the first 5 minutes would be critical. I think it's critical here. Utah State put some fear into this defense. This was a defense for Butch Jones that struggled the season ago. And the longer you go defensively and you can just overwhelm a group and you're not threatened and you don't have any fear of their playmaking or speed, the stronger a young crew gets, the more confidence they believe in themselves. Utah State has to land one of those blows, not just a first down, 3rd down conversion. I'm talking a seam, an explosive play to at least threaten this volunteer defense.
To your point, you get the sense they're growing up by the minute. He looks Natson way and then comes back across and gets it complete to his tight end, Wyatt Houston.
That's having a whole full field progression and a field view of it. So many young quarterbacks will look to that one side and then panic, right, and run and flush. Not Keaton. He knows where everybody is in this system. 4 years in it, he's able to come off his primary receiver, come back, and get into a very favorable 3rd down situation.
Yeah, Houston had to go up and gather that, so he came up a yard short. It's 3rd and 1. Tight formation now here on 3rd and 1 as they go with Hill, and he is stacked up. He may be short of that line. Looked like there was good penetration by Danny O'Brien, the sophomore noseman for Tennessee. And he is short. Keaton looks over here on 4th and 1. And he's staying on the field.
I'd expect a hard count here. You've got an AM defense, a veteran quarterback. Let's see if they try to hard count Tennessee.
Play clock down to 1. Snaps it. 4th and 1. He did not get it. Jordan Williams. Welcome to the new Tennessee defense. The senior who packed on 24 pounds of muscle. He muscled his way in and denied Joe Hill and the Aggies. A year ago, opponents were 9 for 12 on 4th down against Tennessee. Different story moments ago on 4th and 1 as Chucky Keaton in that offense is off the field, and Tennessee has great field position again. Here's Worley. Crossing route complete to Marquez North.
And what have you seen both times in momentum turning plays? The fumble on the kickoff return, and there the 4th down stop. I love the call. You come right back and be aggressive. Don't just be satisfied with making the play. Couple it with the big play offensively. Well done.
Now they go with the screen to Josh Smith, but he was wrapped up. Fine defensive play that time. Brian Sweet comes in. You see that tempo that they're keeping, Brock. 17 of 22 plays before 20 on the play clock.
And it's 1st down success. If you get a 1st down gain, you're going to maximize that. Now you've got a 1-yard gain, and you're not going to get it here. You see for the first time a Utah State defender on the ground.
Kyler Fackrell, their best defender, the star linebacker who's a top NFL prospect. He's reaching for his knee. Of course, this team suffered through so many injuries a year ago and still found success.
Defensive coordinator Todd Orlando looking out, and there is no debate. Fackrell is the best, most impactful defensive player that Coach Orlando has.
It's good to see him up and about. It's a young man who, he's a junior, but Mel Kiper lists him as the top underclassman linebacker as an NFL prospect.
Like so many, self-made. Came into the program as a high school quarterback, receiver, volleyball players, put on 40 pounds, 255 pounds, running in that 4.6 range, and has the kind of length in these 3-4 schemes and versatility in the NFL. And Kiper is able to put him in that first-round grade.
2nd and 9. Here's Worley to pass. Pressure came right up the middle from Travis Seafelt. Worley had time, and then Seafelt just kept coming.
The negative plays for Tennessee offensively have really been in their drop back passing game. 10 of 11 for Worley. He's been very efficient in doing what they want him to do, get the ball out of his hands. It's been in those obvious passing situations where he's held the ball and he's gotten sacked on both occasions.
Backs them up to a 3rd and 17. Steps up, being pursued. And you see that green line that he arrived at. That is the field goal range for their freshman kicker, Aaron Medley, as Nick Vigil was able to track down Worley.
Tremendous response from Utah State defensively. You go for it on 4th down. I don't like that call. It reeks of desperation, but it also tells you the confidence that Matt Wells has in a defense, a veteran defense that went out there and at least limited to Tennessee to this field goal opportunity.
So here comes the first field goal attempt in the career of the true freshman, Aaron Medley. And that was ugly right from the get-go.
Not close.
So Utah State went for it at 4th down and did not pay the price. This field goal attempt for Tennessee. Still enjoying a 2-touchdown lead here at home against Utah State. Chucky Keaton and this Utah State offense, just 60 total yards of offense.
See if they can find a way to take a shot down the field. This Tennessee defense is, you can feel them encroaching more and more on that offense. You got to back them off.
This is Lawan Hunt. That defensive line has done its job well. It's a gain of 1.
On the tackle. 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9, 3-by-1. Swindle now comes in motion. A little bit of pressure as they swing it to Joe Hill, but he's undercut that time as Cameron Sutton came flying in.
These two corners are really good players. Coleman is the senior. He started way back when as a freshman, and Sutton started last season as a true freshman, and you can just see the confidence and speed. When you've got those guys on the outside you feel good about, it enables John Jancic, unlike last year, to bring some of these different schemes and formations and blitzes, especially, once again, the 3rd and 9. Look at Tennessee's junk they're throwing at the line of scrimmage.
They back off of it and only bring 3. And still putting pressure on Keaton, who's going to try to run for it. And it'll be well short as the pursuit came from A.J. Johnson.
Affect the quarterback. When you've got a senior quarterback, as you can see Chucky reaching at his hand there, who's been in a lot of different venues and has played at a very high level and set school records. You don't want him to come into your place and feel good and get in rhythm and feel comfortable. And it's been anything but that here through the first quarter and a half.
Jaron Bentrude to punt again. High and short. And Sutton fields it at the 35. Chucky Keaton shaking that arm as he walked off, unable to convert there. Brock, rumor is you're going to be hanging with the SEC Nation crew with us in Nashville this week. 10 a.m. from LP Field. Get you set for Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. We'll have the call of the game, and of course Tebow, Spears, and Feinbaum will have plenty to say come Saturday morning.
And rumor is Tebow and I may be throwing the football around.
Oh, we got to get that accomplished. No doubt about it. 14-zip Tennessee. Tried to get the tight end releasing right over the middle there, and the flag comes in as Ethan Wolf is a sizable target for Justin Worley, and Brian Sweet came in a little early.
Pass interference, number 9, defense. Penalty is a first down at the spot of the foul.
You want to get this game on the perimeter if you're Tennessee, but they've still been focused on that inside run. And look at the reaction. You can see the linebackers
The foul is on number 21.
for Utah State coming all the way to the line of scrimmage. That's why it's maybe not as effective as what you want to do on the perimeter. You still have to give that inside run and make sure Utah State honors it.
First down. Worley goes downfield and far to the outside. He had some pressure coming in. Josh Malone was running to the top of your screen.
Worley's pass intended for Malone. Incomplete. Defended by Davis. Second and 10.
Jalen Hurd comes in on 2nd and 10.
You see the difference there on the first down incompletion, the first down 0 yardage, and all of a sudden you're going to start to do not get to your goals there.
Worley with time. And he throws a strike to Josh Malone, the true freshman who was a breakout star this past spring, had 181 yards and 3 touchdowns in the spring game.
And you know what you love here? Look how flat he keeps that route, even with the contact there. And you can see Daniel Gray, the Tennessee transfer, trying to reach and grab. Nice job by their freshman there, Malone.
Going to take a shot downfield. But he overthrows Malone that time.
A little bit more air.
He was matched up with Daniel Gray, who used to play here at Tennessee.
Offensive coordinator Mike Bajakian said that deep ball touch is going to continue to evolve. You're going to see Von Pearson and Malone and so many of these threats north as the season evolves. They really feel like that deep passing game can be a strength of this offense.
2nd and 10. Screen this time. Freshman struggles to get loose as Devin Centers made the tackle.
What a tremendous play by Fackrell there. Won't show up on the stat sheet. Tennessee had everything they wanted set up with that screen. And if Fackrell does not come in there and slow down Hurd, that is a big chunk play. Speed on speed, and a nice play there by Fackrell.
Remember, he left moments ago. Back out here now. 3rd and 8. Long pass on that comeback to North, and it'll be 4th down.
Worley's pass intended for North. Defended by Gray.
It's a couple series now, and you can see it. Look at Daniel Gray. He likes it. He played here. He started the game here a couple years ago. And he knows that this defense has been put in some tough spots field position-wise. You go for it, you don't get it. That last drive starts in 40-yard line, and they get the stop again to keep this game interesting defensively. Hold, serve, give Chucky and that offense an opportunity to get their footing underneath them.
Carr's going to try to pin Utah State here. And that's at about the 7-yard line where Natson hauls it in. A 35-yard pinning punt by Dar. Utah State's defense has the Aggies settling down a bit halfway through the second quarter.
Welcome into the studio, Dari Noka, Gene Chizik. We'll see you on the SEC Halftime Report. To get your take on what's made the difference so far in Knoxville, also the film room. What are you looking forward to at half?
Well, I want to see adjustments. That's what I always look for, Doris, especially in the first game of the year. You're trying to figure players out. So I want to see adjustments.
Guys, see you at halftime.
I look forward to hearing from Dari and Coach Chizik, who knows all about Utah State. Remember that 2011 opener down there, that thriller that Auburn had to pull out after winning the BCS championship.
I'll tell you one thing they have to do is find some additional run game, take that burden off the quarterback.
Keaton from his own end zone.
Take a look at this. Chucky Keaton has been all of the ground game for Utah State. And remember, Utah State has had 3 consecutive seasons with 1,000-yard rushers. You want good quarterback play? You want efficient quarterback play? Add a run game to any quarterback, and he's going to play much, much better. Give credit to Tennessee, the speed, the ferocity, the athleticism in their front seven. But Utah State must find schematically a go-to in their run game to slow this defense down.
2nd and 10. Got to dig out of this hole. The slant will help. Good job by Ronald Butler. First down, Aggies.
Keaton's pass complete to Butler. Sutton defending. 1st and 10 Aggies.
Take a little bit of time, right? Your defense has weathered the early storm here in this first half. I like it. Take a little breather. Get to your best stuff. Try to find some of those matchups in your passing game that you know Chucky will find.
They started empty, and now Hill comes back in. Play action. Right off the hands of Brandon Swindle, and he took a hit at the end of it. Well, Daryl McNeil, the junior safety, came in.
As a receiver, you know this. You can see the single safety. This is a skinny post, and you can feel it. He's trying to catch it and protect himself. But you see the eyes, Joe. You've got to finish. Your eyes have to be on that reception point. His eyes bear down on McNeil. And that's unfortunate. That's one of those chunk plays in this passing game that you're going to have to get here. And here's one of the funky formations, the diamond formation.
They motion that diamond formation. They show screen, but instead it's designed with Keaton, and he's tackled for a loss by Danny O'Brien. That Tennessee front four again, Brock.
Yeah, they're really too dominant for a rebuilt Utah State group up front. We've seen O'Brien in the run game. The penetration early as well from Jordan Williams, and just some of the strength there from Danny O'Brien. He's the plugger and one of the few guys that's played a bit of ball on that defensive line. What a venue.
3rd and 11. Listen to this. Incomplete. They picked up that 1 first down just to get a little bit of breathing room, but now they'll be punting it away.
You can see the veteran Keaton talking to the referee and asking if there's contact. He's doing his best acting job. That's an excellent no call. Very clean first half here from this officiating crew. 1 for 7 on 3rd down now, and too many of those have been 3rd and extra long passing situations.
Ben Trude, not a good looking punt at all. Barely crosses midfield. So Tennessee will have good field position again. Reminder that Monday at 7 on the SEC Network, Dari Noka and the network analysts will get you set for the week ahead. Recap everything that happened. It's SEC Now, presented by Regions Bank.
I'll find a way to get Pig Howard involved again. You saw him on the early block that set up the big bubble screen play, and then the touchdown run that followed. He's their best playmaker. He's been very, very good this training camp. I'd find a way to get number 2 involved here offensively for the Volunteers.
And the 6-yard touchdown run to get things started tonight. There's Jalen Hurd. As Hurd crosses midfield, shows you a little burst of power, getting it near the 45-yard line, taken down by Frankie Cetera. And once again, Kyler Fackrell is grasping at that right knee. Remember, he left the game earlier, came back in, and now the medical staff for Utah State is tending to him again. Their best playmaker on defense will take a break as they look him over. Second time tonight that Utah State's top NFL prospect, Kyler Fackrell, has left the game.
See the power run game, and he's taken on the big fella. That's Marcus Jackson, 310 pounds. Unfortunately, that lower half gives for Fackrell.
2nd and 3, and Hurd will move the chains there.
This is go zone now. This is that area of the field that coordinators love to take their shots. This is where you're going to try to get that matchup, be it to Howard or outside, some of your perimeter athleticism.
Worley's checking at the line. Saw a motion to the slot receiver. And they go with Hurd. It was read pretty well, but Hurd was able to spin free, and Torrey Green, who's in for Fackrell, made the tackle on Jalen Hurd.
He's got that frame that just falls forward. 6'3", 225 pounds, in a conference that has seen freaks come in as freshmen and make differences. They really are excited about his prospects.
Tall running back, but he's got a little bit of wiggle to him, some elusiveness that was noted by the coaching staff. 2nd and 6. And Pig Howard probably about a half-yard short of the sticks there, as Jalen Davis, the true freshman, wrapped up Alton Pig Howard.
And remember the butcher job on the first field goal attempt from Aaron Medley, a 40-yard attempt that just was not close. You're getting now near that field position in a time where maybe a little bit of 4-down territory for Bajakian and the offensive staff here.
Showing I formation here on 3rd and 1 as Worley is under center. 2 tights, 22 personnel, and they do hand off. And it looks like Hurd was cut down short by Brian Sweet. And they are saying 4th down. So just shy of the 31-yard line. Marlon Lane, the senior running back, comes in for Butch Jones. 4th down and 1.
Feels like quarterback sneak, doesn't it?
And they're pointing out some movement on the line.
False start, number 80, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
What do you worry about with true freshmen? How about penalties?
Mistakes just like that. And Butch Jones said he's going to have to remain incredibly calm. You see the movement there with the running back motion. That's a no-brainer. Those painful pre-snap penalties. And there's so much for calmness.
And that's a red-faced Butch Jones there, who thinks that was a golden opportunity that slipped away. As Matt Darr comes out now to punt.
Well, he knows he has dominated this first half. And there have been ample opportunities for this offense to really step on it and put some tremendous pressure and distance between themselves and Utah State. And they've been unable to do so. I think that reaction is as much the false start as just the inability to take advantage.
Through that back rotation on that punt, actually kicked it out past the 10-yard line. Thought they were going to pin him there. Now, it's a good night for Tennessee fans on the SEC network. Classic SEC game will follow us. Tennessee and Auburn back in '97. You can relive the excitement of Peyton Manning and the Vols and the comeback against Auburn in the first SEC championship for Tennessee. That's tonight at 10 o'clock right here on the SEC Network.
We talked about the first sellout in 7 years, and you just get the vibe around here. As hungry as A.J. Johnson and this team is, this fan base is so thirsting to get back in the fold, get back into the bowl game picture, and excited about what Butch is doing in so many different ways, really building this thing through the recruiting the way they want to see it.
Here's Joe Hill out of the backfield.
Oh, that's awesome.
And A.J. Johnson was tracking him every step of the way.
You can brag about Kyle Fackrell on the other side, but you better give A.J. Johnson his due. There's a look, and that's not a good sign. We saw him come back into the game earlier. You did not see Fackrell's knee being iced as you are right now. You hate to speculate, but typically once you start icing, the shoulder pads will come off. Your night's done.
2nd and 8. Go with Natson on the fly sweep, and a nice cutback by the 5'7", 150-pounder.
But look at the difference. You see who they got a body on that play? For one of the rare occasions here in the first half, you actually get a helmet on some of those secondary players. A helmet on A.J. Johnson. Instead of allowing him to run free, they actually get a body on a body and find some of this run game to move the sticks.
Intercepted by Cameron Sutton. Chucky Keaton took a shot, and Sutton ran right underneath it.
And just after you find a little bit of run game to get the first down, a one-on-one ball, and you're trusting your receiver. It's your ball or nobody's, and unfortunately Butler A gets pushed, makes no reaction on the ball, and give Cameron Sutton, the sophomore, the freshman All-American a year ago, freshman All-Conference player, give him his due for turning into the receiver, and once again putting Tennessee in very favorable position. Let's see if they can finally take advantage offensively.
Here's the reverse. It is a throwback. And wide open, but thrown short to Devin Young. As Pig Howard came around, and they tried to throw back.
It's the go zone between the 40s. You got a full plan for this, and you have everything you want coming out the backside. And unfortunately, you just don't execute. You get it. You get exactly. Look at Utah State. They're scrambling. They're lost. All eyes are in the backfield.
Good change of possession. Lottery ticket to buy there, though. 2nd and 10. Worley now steps up in the pocket, looks downfield, and connects to Von Pearson as a flag comes down at the end of that play. Great athleticism by the JUCO transfer, the 23-year-old Pearson. 27-yard reception.
And better fight than anything else. You see Butler on the other side.
Number 37 defense. 50 yards over from the previous spot. Replay first down.
You see Butler on the other side not help his quarterback out, and look at Pearson from the inside here.
It's an incomplete pass.
He has the contact, and he's fighting through that contact to come all the way back. And does he secure the reception? The call incomplete on the field.
They ruled it incomplete. That's why they went forward with the pass interference call, did the officiating crew.
But you see the difference? Back-to-back plays there. You see the difference of one group receiver attacking the football. Butch Jones said Pig Howard really set the tone. They want to become wide receiver U once again.
The ruling on the field of incomplete pass is under further review.
And Butch is going to take a look and see if Pearson was able to fight through and make the catch. But what a great picture of two different teams, and one really fighting and clawing, and a receiver helping his buddy out.
Does he have firm control all the way?
No,
there it hits the ground. That was good work that time by Mark Curls and this SEC crew. As Doyle Jackson's upstairs, he'll take a peek at it.
But if he doesn't rip through the contact, you don't get the penalty flag. If you give up on the play, like Butler did on the other side, interceptions, bad plays, negative things happen. Continue to fight all the way through the end of the play.
Ball's marked right now at the 30-yard line, and a first down, obviously, with the pass interference.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass.
Well, the way Pearson rolled his body around the football. Had the look of an incredible catch, but the pass interference comes their way anyways. So Tennessee is in business with a first down at the 30 after the interception by Cameron Sutton. It's Pig Howard getting the single coverage in the bottom of your screen. And now they roll over as Davis shows a corner blitz, and here he comes. And Worley escapes it. And that is incomplete, thrown for Pig Howard. So they were sneaking Jalen Davis into that play, Brock.
There will be no debate. Utah State will continue to be exactly who they are, and that's very, very aggressive, and a nice job by Howard to continue to work and come back to the sidelines. Unfortunately, the throw by Worley takes him out of bounds. But even minus Fackrell, even minus an offense that's given you no support, Utah State and defensive coordinator Todd Orlando will continue to be aggressive. That is the DNA of who they are.
Second and 10 as they walk up to the line again. Bring 4. That was dropped by Howard. It'll be 3rd and 10 as Davis was on the coverage of Howard.
Get everything you want. You get your best receiver, and unfortunately he's not climbing back. He gets flat-footed. And once again, it's lack of execution. You just can't say it enough here in the second quarter. You've been given 2 takeaways by your defense, favorable field position by your special teams. Opportunities galore, and you have just not made them pay at all. Going to come back to Howard at the bottom of the screen.
Let's see if he looks his way. He does, and Howard has the first down.
You want to know why you do that? You come back to your best player, and he's been their best player in training camp. You watch enough tape of Mike Bajakian, and he loves getting those other receivers, 3 receivers to the other side of the field, and he will take that. He knows that Howard, he dropped it, and he's going to come back and more than anything wants to respond to it. That's a good call. And finally, a little bit of execution from Tennessee.
Under 90 seconds in this first half. To the end zone they go. But beyond Pearson.
One of the best in college football, limiting touchdowns. Don't ever look at red zone stats about anything but touchdowns. That's what it's all about, limiting the big plays here, especially going into halftime. And Todd Orlando's group is so very sound down here. Not as much pressure as you see from 20 to 20.
6'5" Jason Kroom has come in for Tennessee here. Second down. Worley extending the play, goes back over the middle looking for Hurd, and it'll be 3rd and 10 with 1:12 remaining.
So what does Utah State do? They know a 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers to the top, and once again you got Howard on the bottom. But watch him here. Instead of leaving the corner vulnerable in a one-on-one situation, you're going to sneak that defender out, change the sight line of Worley, and force the 3rd and extra long.
3rd and 10. Flag is down as he went to the end zone, and it goes incomplete. He was looking for Josh Smith, but we will check on the flag.
That's going to be a hold. And this now comes into play because remember, you have a freshman kicker. Do you want to back them up 10 more yards or accept this and put 4th and 10 on the field?
Holding, number 57 offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
And this is
all on the 18-yard line.
It's on Matt Crowder, the center, the redshirt sophomore, right in the middle, and it's just a 3-man rush from Utah State. They brought so many blitzes throughout, and that's good on the wrestling mat. Not good in full view of the umpire.
So Aaron Medley comes back out for his 2nd attempt.
His heart's racing.
True freshman. That time he put it right through. And Tennessee pushes it to a 17-0 margin. So Medley connects on his first field goal of his career. And that interception by Cameron Sutton just when Utah State was trying to find a rhythm. And instead, Tennessee ends up with points before the half. This Utah State team a year ago, they scored 56 touchdowns on the season. And that was with Chucky Keaton and his absence for the last 8 games as Garrettson came in and led the way down the stretch.
But you saw a multi-dimensional offense. You saw a run game that could complement a passing game. You have seen consecutive 1,000-yard rushers in Logan, Utah. It can never be in a venue like this, all on one position.
Last year they had Joey DiMartino, who had 1,200 rushing yards. Tonight, in terms of running backs, Hunt has 2 yards. Natson, the receiver, is 9, and Keaton, just scrambling around trying to make the most of it, has 4 rushes for 16. Leon Williams back to return, but it'll be a squib here with under a minute to go. As Filianga returns it, and it'll be 55 seconds remaining in this first half, dominated by Tennessee.
Just get a field goal.
Yeah.
When you're right here in this huddle and you're going on the field, find a way in the final 55 seconds with a couple timeouts to just feel good. You don't want to see a goose egg going into halftime, and always so critical. That emotion, that energy going in and coming out of half. If you're Chucky Keaton, you've got to be thinking 3 here.
The wind has calmed down considerably, but they are going in a direction where the place kickers were having more success. Their long field goal kicker hit from 54 heading here to the left earlier in warmups. As Keaton will try to make some magic with 2 timeouts remaining here. Joe Hill. He was met by Jalen Reeves-Maven.
Met first by Reeves-Maven.
Too physical and too fast in this front 7. Gene Chizik and Dari Noka are going to talk about some of the adjustments. I'd be real curious when you are getting outgunned and outmanned at the point of attack. This defensive line for Tennessee has really had their way with Utah State. Real curious to see what kind of run game they can find in the second half.
And quick out goes to Swindle, but he was met well at about the 41-yard line by Reeves-Maven again.
Well, a group that gave up 418 yards a game last year with a 29 points a game has got to feel awfully good. John Jancic and that defensive crew rotated people through. A.J. Johnson was very, very dominant, leading the charge, and against a pretty prolific offense, completely shut him down through the first 30.
That guy feels mighty good. Came back for this senior year. Pitched a shutout, did his defense in the first half against a pretty talented Utah State team. Let's go down to the field. Visit with Shannon.
Coach, yesterday you told us you didn't know if your young players were going to be able to make a left or a right when coming out of the tee. What do you think about the way they played so far?
Well, again, we some critical downs on offensively that we have to score touchdowns, and you can't do that against a good team at Utah State. Now the next learning curve, the next learning phase is how do we handle 17 up, come out in the first possession of the second half will be absolutely critical.
You did say that a story of this game would be if your defense can hold up. They've shut them out. What's been the key in doing that?
Well, we've been able to apply pressure to the quarterback, and we've been able to take away the run and make them a little bit one-dimensional.
Thank you, Coach.
And that defense had that 4th and 1 stop. Had the interception from Cameron Sutton and Butch Jones. And the New Look Vols lead 17-0. Let's join Dari Noka and Coach Chizik in the halftime report. Gentlemen, take it away.